Moving along now, just before the Thanksgiving holiday, the Market Journal team was in Kansas City for the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention. While we were there, we had the opportunity to sit down with the president of the American Farm Bureau Federation, Zippy Duvall. Today we're catching up with the president of the American Farm Bureau Federation, that is Zippy Duvall. Zippy, we appreciate the time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you guys are always up to a lot of things, and particularly as we gear up for another farm bill. I'm sure you've been busy having conversations about what that's going to be looking like. So tell us your thoughts on the upcoming farm bill, what that could look like.
Yeah, we've had a study group working 2 years with all our national affairs people from all across the country, working on what the gaps or the weaknesses in the last farm bill are, and then we've taken those recommendations that they brought forward to the board, and they've unanimously approved it. Now, I don't want to get in front of my delegates because we're going to national convention in January, and I'm sure they will tweak and fine-tune those recommendations. So looking forward to basically protecting the crop insurance piece. It's the risk management tool that our farmers are using and are getting used to, and even more and more every year using it. And then in Title I, of course, I think our delegates will be looking at cost of production and whether or not those targets in Title I are at the correct level. Conservation, with all the conversation around climate, I know there'll be an emphasis put there, and you know, our people, if this market, voluntary market and incentive-based, they'll be there to step up and take on those projects. But we don't want them to forget all the conservation tools that we have out there that haven't been funded to the correct amount up to this point, and hopefully that'll happen too.
As the American Farm Bureau, of course, representing all the states and the different geographic areas of the country, where we're at Nebraska and the Western Corn Belt really experiencing a lot of drought, cattle producers obviously seeing that as well. What are some of the other big challenges, though, that our viewers might not be familiar with that are facing American ag producers nationwide?
Well, you know, as I travel the country, and right now I'm going to state conventions, first thing everybody wants to talk about is input costs and availability of those inputs. And then a lot of discussion right now around transportation. Is there going to be a rail strike, or we're going to be able to head that off? And, you know, if they can't find common ground, we're going to be going to Congress asking them to intervene. In the, water, especially out west, availability of water, how's that money that was passed in the last, I think, in the Inflation and Reduction Act, how's that water going to be used, and how will it help farmers and ranchers? Just so many areas, the labor, and the list just goes on and on that we talk about every day.
What have been some of the challenges working with the Biden administration with their priority areas and aligning them with where the American Farm Bureau is?
Well, you know, a lot of theirs is about diversity and climate. And in the climate area, we've tried to join up through the Food and Agriculture Climate Alliance, FACA. We were one of the founding members of that group to explore what we could come together and agree on with groups that don't really think like us a lot of times. We had food groups there, environmental groups, timber, agriculture, and we all sat down and found some common ground with 3 principles that really is guided by that voluntary market incentive-based programs, and went to Capitol Hill with it, and it actually dominated the conversation around climate and agriculture on Capitol Hill. Ended up being part of the climate smart pilot programs that USDA put out. So that was a great process that we went through with a lot of our friends and people that we should have been working with a long time ago to find common ground.
Coming up here in January, American Farm Bureau is traveling to Puerto Rico for the annual convention. Give us a preview of what's ahead there.
Hey, it's going to be a good time. You know, we're going to go eat some good food, enjoy their culture. They are happy people, and they're excited about us coming. I've met with the governor. I think we're going to be, if not the biggest convention they've ever had, one of the biggest. And they're really looking forward to us coming. I know they had a big storm there. Some people are worried about that. We've been on the ground and looked, all the hotels, the convention centers in good shape. We're ready to go. Going to eat some good food, have that fellowship, and we're going to do the business of Farm Bureau like we always do, get ready for 2023.
We'll have somebody there, so we'll look forward to
we'll
coverage.
Look forward to you coming. Everybody needs to come. I think it's going to be cold in a lot of our country, and it's going to be beautiful and sunny there.
Absolutely. President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, Zippy Duvall, joining us here in Kansas City.